doing tonight?
Great.
Fantabulous. All right, well, tonight we are going to talk about setting a course, or setting the course. And hopefully you guys will learn something, right? You might. You probably won't, but you might. Do you guys remember what we talked about last week? What was our challenge for this year?
That's all good.
To read a chapter a day.
Kind of read a chapter a day, right? I want to call this the one chapter challenge, okay? So, one chapter challenge, and it's that we read one chapter out of the Bible every day, right? And I've got a little checklist for everybody, and it's got, basically it's got every book of the Bible on it, right? And it has however many chapters is in that book. And then all you do is every day, you can read it in the morning, at night, at lunch, at school, wherever you want to read it, one chapter a day, right? And if you read one chapter every day, how many books would you have read at the end of the year?
6 this year.
366. Why 366 this year?
Leap year.
Because it's a leap year. Yes. So, if you read one chapter a day, I can promise you 3 things, okay? It will not kill you. Okay. Won't kill you. Secondly, it will help you stay better connected to God. All right? I can promise you those 2 things. And lastly, it only takes about 5 minutes. Okay? How many minutes are in a day? I can't idea.
I actually know that.
24 times 60. What is
We
that?
did that class.
What's 24 times 60? Come
It's
on,
like
y'all.
4,144 or something like that.
1,144? What?
4,144. Something like that.
Okay, I don't know. But basically, okay, say there was 4,000 minutes. What's 5 minutes, right? 5 minutes is very little time. It's something that you can do, like, say you forgot to do it and you're about to go to bed. One chapter you can read before you go to bed, I promise. I mean, just open your Bible and read a chapter, think about what God's trying to tell you, and then just mark that chapter off and go to a different chapter. I've got a video that I want you to see that's kind of going to start us off. Let me turn off the lights, and Ryan.
So, maybe you're thinking about making some big changes or setting some ambitious goals for yourself. Maybe you want to lose 20 pounds or read through the Bible. Maybe you want to run a marathon or repair a broken relationship. Whatever your big goal is, the temptation is to expect to go straight from here to here, or from here to here. The reality is, there are a lot of small steps between big decisions and big results. Challenges and obstacles await. At some point, you might even want to quit. But stand firm. Don't be disappointed with slow progress. Don't be overwhelmed by the destination. Rather, focus on what you can do today. Skip dessert. Read a chapter. Go for a run. Make a phone call. The more difficult the journey, the more rewarding the destination. And it can all start today with just one small step.
So one small step, right? Okay. Now, one of my favorite lines in that clip, you know what one of my favorite lines in that clip is? Small. Yeah, small is good. Yeah, it is rewarding when you do something and you go all the way through, okay? One of my favorite things is that we need to remember to focus on what we can do today, right? Focus on what we can do today. I think sometimes we get like, we have the big picture in mind, and sometimes it's kind of daunting to us, and we don't think we can do it. So like, there's this saying, it's the journey of 1,000 miles, what? You know how to finish it? Journey of 1,000 miles begins with one
Small
step.
step.
Well, okay, one small step. Could be one small step. Okay, journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step, or begins with one small step, right? Well, I got to thinking about it, and I was like, okay, I wonder how many steps is in a mile, right? So I looked up how many feet was in a mile, and that's 5,280 feet, right? And also said online that it takes you about 2,000 steps to walk a mile. And I was like, where did they get that? So basically, if your step is 2.5 feet, is that about 2.5 feet?
Yeah.
something like that.
Sure,
Okay.
About two.
Okay, it would take you 2,000, like 100 and something steps to walk in a mile. Okay, so that's not that far, 2,000 steps. Well, if you're going to take this journey of 1,000 miles, you know how many steps you take?
200,000.
Close.
Oh, what now?
Not close. 2 million. You would take 2 million, about 2 million steps. Well, more than 2 million, depending on how big your step is, right? So you take 2 million steps. And now, if you looked at it like, I got to take 2 million steps, what do you immediately want to do? Quit. It's like, oh my gosh, 2 million steps? No way, I'm done. Right? But if you looked at it, okay, I got to take 50 steps today. Can you do that? Yeah, it's smaller. Okay, I can do 50 steps. It's going to take you a longer time, right? It's lazy. Josh said that's lazy. Okay? Well, I mean, eventually you would reach your goal if you had smaller goals to get to that point, right? So, that's what I like about this idea of focusing on what you can do today, right? And not worrying about the 2 million steps that's out there that you still have to go. Focus on what you can do today. If you can only do 50 steps today, take those 50 steps and then take some more steps tomorrow, right? So, like, if we thought about reading 366 chapters in the Bible, okay? I mean, for a lot of us, we're like, no way, that's too much to do. That's really a lot. But if you just read one every day, you can get there, and you can get there pretty easily. We have to remember in our journey of reading our Bibles or making it to college or whatever your goals are. Okay, you guys have any goals for this year? What's a goal somebody has for this year? Everybody have a goal? You guys need to set some goals. Yes, Monica.
Go to the gym more.
Okay, to go to the gym more. Okay, we have any like specific goals like I'm gonna lose or I'm gonna do or I'm gonna.
Yes.
Anybody?
We're
Okay.
trying to get a certain amount of money back into our savings account.
Okay. Money goals. There are money goals. There's all kinds of different goals, right?
Yes, Jared needs to graduate.
Ronnie, graduate. That's a good goal. Jared, very good goal. Okay. Well, how do you reach those goals? You got to start with today. You got to start doing stuff today. So remember that this new year. You guys remember this little story that I said? This new year is like a brand new book. Okay, and it's an empty book, and there are all these empty pages in there, right? And every day you're handed a new page to fill out in your book, right? So every day you have the choice of what to do. Now, one of my favorite definitions of resolution. Okay, we made a New Year's resolution with our group last week, and everybody that's here can join us. Our resolution, and the resolution was to read one chapter of the Bible every day. I'm going to talk about this all year. I'm just going to be reminding you, hey, read your Bibles, because I really think that is a key to becoming closer to God and really getting to know God better. But one of my favorite definitions of resolution, okay, is to set a course, and that's what we're going to talk about today, setting a course. You guys know what that is on the screen? You don't. That is a ship or a cruise ship. Okay, a lot of you guys know or may know that me and Missy went on a Christmas cruise. I guess like just recently. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. Huh? Which one? It was a Carnival Conquest. Okay, so one of them it wasn't that one. But anyways, when you go on a cruise, I got some pictures of our cruise. You have mine? Yeah. This right here, I love this because it was like, yeah, it was in Cozumel and like the boats were parked right next to each other, and I thought, man, that's too cool. So I had to take a picture of that.
That was your picture?
And this, yeah, that was our picture. I was actually behind the camera. But this is me and Missy, and the guy to the far left is Marcus, and that's his wife. That's Missy's brother. In the middle, you know who that is?
Brother Shannon?
That's the captain. No, it's not Brother Shannon. That's the captain.
That's the Brother Shannon. That's him.
Just a few. Okay, that's Brother Shannon, the captain. Okay.
He's a part.
Now, what does the captain do on the ship?
Steer the boat.
He drives, right? He steers the boat,
Talks on the intercom.
talks on the intercom, whatever. Okay?
Raises this stuff.
The one thing that he does is he makes sure that the boat gets where it's supposed to be going, right? He sets the course, okay? Well, now, say this captain sets the course, okay, and this is just a sample picture of maybe a journey. Ours was actually New Orleans, and then it was all these same places. But say we were leaving from Galveston, and we left out. Well, what does he got to do? He's got to steer the boat and get us to where are we going? We're going to Costa Maya, right? So he's got to steer us to get there. Well, what happens if he starts to get a little bit off course?
He crashes into Cuba.
Crashes into Cuba.
Okay. Missed the point. You crash into Cuba. He lands in Florida. Hit an iceberg in the
But
middle
it'll
of
probably
the
catch
ocean.
it just as
Probably not.
Probably catch it.
Huh?
Turn a little bit.
Yeah, you just adjust and you get back on course, right? So basically, that's what you do. You set this course, and if he gets a little off course, then he just adjusts it and gets back on course, right? So I think that's important because most of us we're going to have. I mean, when we choose to read the Bible, obviously there's going to be stuff that gets in our way. Whether it's we read the Bible or whatever goals we set to get to college or to graduate, there's going to be obstacles in your way. There's going to be a test. There's going to be a storm. There's going to be something, you're going to miss a day. You're going to miss a chapter. Well, what do you do when that happens? You just throw up your hands and land in Cuba? What do you do? No, you just adjust a little bit, right? You adjust and you get back on track. So, already showed you that picture. Let's see. So, I say all that to say that this year we're setting a course for our life, right? Basically, that's what you do, and you guys need to think about, where your destination is, because if you don't have any plans or any goals, you're not going to get anywhere, right? How many people know somebody that didn't set any goals and didn't have anything, in their life, and all of a sudden they have this great job or something like that? Typically not going to happen. Okay, very few times is a captain going to get on a ship and land exactly where he wanted to land if he didn't set his course right? There's just no way that happens. Okay, not very many people. I mean, I guess sometimes it could happen, but not very often. Okay, you need to set goals, you need to reach goals, and you need to do that sort of thing. So, now when we set a course, there's obviously going to be the roadblocks and everything, but don't throw up your hands. Don't give up. Okay, just adjust, correct the course, and keep going. Right, I'm going to read this section of verses because I think this talks about. Well, hey guys, just this last Wednesday, something happened with the video camera, and for some reason we ran out of space on the camera. So, anyways, I was going to come back and I wanted to go ahead and finish off what we were talking about last week, just because it kind of ends in a weird spot, and we're almost finished with the lesson that we were talking about, setting a course for our life for this year. And I was about to read Hebrews chapter 12, verses 1 and 2. And I really think this sheds a lot of light on the topic that we're talking about, just setting a course and going in a direction. And this is what Hebrews chapter 12, verses 1 through 2 says. It says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders us and the sin that so easily entangles us." And I was talking about, there are things they're going to try to hold us back from reaching our goal, whether it's to read the Bible or to graduate high school, or whatever our goals are. There's always going to be sin that gets in our way, and there's going to be things that hinder us, and God tells us, through Paul tells us to throw those things off. And it goes on to say, "And let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us." And that perseverance is so important when we're talking about setting goals, when we're talking about reading a chapter a day, or whatever it is. When we're trying to reach our goal, perseverance is extremely important, because that's what helps us to get through all the different difficulties that we're going to have. So just remember that we need to persevere, and that's key in overcoming obstacles and that sort of thing. And I think the best part of setting a goal is when we do persevere and when we do get through all the hard work and everything, then it pays off, and the payoff is the best part. So at the very end of school, when you finally graduate, and you see everybody throwing their caps up, well, that's the best part, when you finally reach that sense of completion and you finished it. That's just a great feeling, and that's a great part of reaching your goals and of being able to do that. And so you go back to our illustration about the 2 million steps. Well, at first it looks really big, but if you take your time and you work toward it, then eventually you'll get to where you've reached your journey and you've reached your goal. And my last illustration was I just recently read an article about a guy, and his name was Jordan Romero. And Jordan, he's a climber, he's a hiker, and most people probably haven't heard of him, but he's a young hiker, and he started hiking way back. And what had happened, what his story is he was in elementary school, and he was in 4th grade, I think, 3rd or 4th grade, and he saw this mural on the wall at his elementary school, and the mural was of the 7 tallest summits in the world. And he decided one day that he wanted to climb all 7 summits. That's what he wanted to do, and that was one of the goals that he had in his life. And so he decided that he was going to work toward that. So he talked to his dad, and he said, "Dad, can we do that?" And his dad agreed that if he'd put in the work to do this, that he would help his son or help Jordan to accomplish it. So Jordan began hiking every day after school, and he lived in the mountains already, so he started hiking every day, and he trained for about 2.5 years, 2-3 years, to get ready to start these huge summit hikes for the 7 highest peaks on 7 different continents. And so he started this, and they called it the quest for the 7 summits. That's what people have been starting to call it, that are kind of his fans and have started following what he's doing. But when he was 10 years old, he climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. That was his first climb, and which is a huge summit. It was a great thing, and he was one of the first that were his age to actually climb Kilimanjaro. Anyway, he started breaking records all over the place. So 10 years old, he climbed Kilimanjaro, and he climbed just a number of other peaks. And finally, they got to the point where he was ready to climb the highest peak in the world, which is Mount Everest. If you've looked into all that and you know anything about high peaks, Mount Everest is the tallest one. And at age 13, Jordan Romero made that accomplishment, and it all goes back to some goals that he set when he was in elementary school. And now that he's 13, which that's most of you guys is your age, or in your age group at least. A lot of you guys that's a little bit younger, but 13 years old, he climbed some of the highest peaks and the highest peak in the world. So basically, to come to the end of the message, it's that when you guys set your mind on something, you guys can do it. And I believe, I think sometimes that older adults don't believe in students, or we don't act like we believe in students. And I want you to know tonight or today that we do believe in you, that I believe in you, and I know that there are people in our youth group and Inside Out Student Ministries that if they will set their heart on something, they'll work for it, that they'll be able to reach some goals that they may never have thought they could have reached. So I just want you guys to remember that. Sorry that the video cut off early. Hopefully this kind of helps summarize the end of that message. I wish I could have gotten the end of the message that we had really had. But anyways, till next time, Catch you later.